Hello YouTube, and in today's video we're going to take a look at this Retina MacBook Pro. This is a late 2013 13-inch model, which has been upgraded, so to speak, from the factory. So it was a custom order machine, and yeah, I got this not too long ago, just because I wanted another Mac, and I saw this one for a price that I really couldn't resist, and I should be able to actually flip it if I wanted to, which I might at some point. So I just took it. It's in really good condition. Of course, it is a almost 5-year-old laptop. It's 4.5 years old, just over 4 years now, actually. And that's always a risk. But the specifications really don't lie. This is a 2.6 GHz Core i5. This is already a Haswell machine. It has 8 GB of RAM, a 256 GB SSD, and Intel Iris graphics. So the major upgrades here are, of course, the 2.6 GHz i5, a 256 SSD. The base model has a 2.4 i5 and 128 gig SSD. So that's a pretty neat upgrade right there. So this must have been a pretty expensive machine back in the day, and I didn't even pay half of what a new one would ever cost. So I think that's pretty good. And the battery is still in pretty good condition as well. I don't know if I have coconut battery on here, but I do not. So, of course, this is my Mavericks installation because I figured it would be a good idea to also run the original operating system on this machine. And of course, this thing being a Retina, the display is very sharp indeed. This machine does not suffer from the issues with the screen coating, because the display unit on this one has actually been changed already. So let's put it on actual Retina mode. There we go. So yeah, this already has a brand spanking new display. There we go. Gorgeous Word 2011. Battery is still in good shape, like I mentioned. Right now it's saying it still has about 4 hours left. It's at 40%, and I can definitely say from using it in High Sierra, I think I got about around 6 to 10 hours usually on battery, depending on what I'm doing. If I'm just browsing the web, casual stuff like that, I will get about 8 hours out of it. And if I turn the screen brightness down and I'm just doing some offline stuff like listening to music and writing up some stuff, then it'll easily do about 10 hours still on its original battery. So this machine has definitely been treated very well by its previous owner, that's for sure. And yeah, Mavericks really isn't all that amazing to see, but it's just a little bit of fun I had with the machine. So let's actually boot it up into something a bit more modern, if it'll let us. Of course, while that is happening, we can also take a look at the keyboard on the machine. Of course, it is also in very good condition. There aren't any major keys with blemishes or wear on them. It's in definitely very good shape. The trackpad is also basically the same story, just have to hold down the option key here. It's also in good shape. Of course, it worked with all various gestures. It is not a force touch trackpad, so you don't have all the fancy you can click anywhere style. And it's just not as nice as the latest MacBooks in that regard. But the keyboard is a little bit better than what you find in, for instance, the 12-inch MacBook or the MacBook Pro from 2016. The 2017 MacBook Pros are actually reasonably nice to type on. They have the revised butterfly switches, and they're actually quite a bit nicer to type on. But it's still, I still think that the original keyboard on this one is a little bit better. Of course, the OG keyboard for the MacBook Pro, which was actually debuted in the PowerBook G4, that's still the best laptop keyboard I think that's out there by a long shot. That's not even a question. That's just a fact. But the new butterfly switches definitely aren't bad. Definitely a very nice revision on that. So yeah, here we are in High Sierra. So now we're back in the modern days of macOS. Mavericks really shows what has been in terms of the Mac OS, and High Sierra is just the latest iteration, of course, showing the current direction and possibly the future direction of the Mac OS in Apple's vision there. I should have coconut battery in here, so we can actually take a look at the real battery health here. So type in coconut. It's not actually showing anything. So apparently I don't have it on here either, so we'll have to download it. That is okay too. So, well, one thing I will say, I really enjoy using this machine because it's definitely super fast. Of course, it has the PCI Express SSD. This is one of the first generations of that. It debuted in the 2012 Retinas, but it's definitely very nice in this one as well. It's slightly faster. It doesn't come close to the 15-inch early 2015 Retina I used to have, and it definitely doesn't come close to the latest 2017 Retinas, but it's a very nice and very fast SSD. You really don't notice a difference between this one and the 2015 or the 2017. I can tell from experience, so it's definitely something that a machine that will very happily stick with you for a couple of years, that's for sure. The design capacity here in Coconut Battery says the battery is still at 91.3% health. It has had about 280 cycles, so it's pretty lightly used over the years. And it is actually from the 14th of April of 2014, so it's actually a late 2013 model that was produced in early to mid 2014. So it is indeed just over 4 years old now. That's pretty good. And of course the battery is rapidly discharging at this point, but that's okay. Wow, now it actually, the design capacity is going up. It was at 90%, then it went to 91 point something, and now it's at 92.7%. Right, so that's accurate. Let's say it's 90%. It's still good. That's all that I care about. So I'm not really sure what the future is for this machine. I mean, I really, like I said, I enjoy using it. It's a very nice machine for doing my web browsing and email and just the casual stuff. I sometimes hook it up to my dual display setup on my desk. Just if I don't need to do anything graphically intensive, then I will use my MacBook Pro. And that suits me very well. I really like having a very light machine to carry around with me whenever I need to do some mobile stuff, and just when I don't really need all the graphical horsepower that my desktop offers, which is a Ryzen 7 2700X with 16 gigs of RAM and GTX 1060 and the good stuff. This is definitely for just your everyday tasks. And if I really don't need to use my desktop, I will actually dock this thing somewhere and use this with my dual displays. Because of course you can run a dual display on this machine, because if you take a look around the ports here, we have dual Thunderbolt 2, and on the other side of the laptop we have an HDMI. So what I basically do is I connect both of my displays with DisplayPort to my desktop usually, but my displays also have HDMI and VGA. I will usually connect the MacBook Pro via HDMI. I have a Thunderbolt to HDMI adapter, and this one just connects directly to one of the displays, and that suits me very well. Of course, we also have the USB 3s everywhere. We have two of those. We have a headphone jack, which is absent these days. Dual microphones on the side. The lightning port there, or lightning. What do I call it? Lightning. MagSafe. It's really getting out of fashion, isn't it? And of course, an SD card slot that is also wired to the PCI Express bus, if I am not mistaken, which is nice if you have UFS SD cards. On the bottom we can see the major signs of that this machine was actually used, because of course you can obviously see there's a dent there, and I guess if my camera was actually somewhat decent, you could make out there's a couple of scratches on the bottom, and the feet have some wear marks. You can see the wear marks on the feet there. I think that is pretty visible, but that's about all there is to it. There's also something that you might notice if you take a look at this, the top of this display unit. It is a bit rougher than you would normally expect from a MacBook Pro, so this was probably a third-party display housing. The display itself is definitely the same quality as you would expect from an Apple display. So I think it is a real Retina display with just a third-party cover on it when they replaced it. So, but that doesn't bother me too much because this one's actually quite a bit more scratch resistant than the usual soft aluminum is. And this is really a bit more gritty, a bit more rough. And definitely feels a lot more scratch resistant, and it has proven to be more scratch resistant as well. So that basically sums up my little experience here, and it also concludes the overview of my late 2013 13-inch Retina MacBook Pro. Again, whether it will be with me for a long time, I will not know. Until I actually decide to get another itch with the new Apple stuff, and I will actually buy myself a brand new MacBook Pro, which might happen. I sometimes do crazy impulsive stuff like that. We'll see it when that happens, and I'll do an unboxing, of course. But for the time being, I'm definitely enjoying this machine, and I am really wanting a bit more from the Mac. If only Apple would actually hurry up with their refresh for the 13-inch MacBook Pro, so I can actually get a quad-core Cable Lake refresh in a 13-inch non-touch bar model. That would be the perfect laptop for me. But we'll see when that happens. So that rumored cheaper MacBook Air replacement hasn't come around yet, so we'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.